Hey everybody, welcome back to Cuddles R Us. Today we're going to be diving into vehicles, what it's going to look like. Let's get ready and let's start preparing for launch because these vehicles are going to be a key importance. So let's dive in. So right off the top, we are going to be looking at the steel products, right? Um, I personally would not be looking at you like unlocking the sand bike in the steel category. I would just be looking at the buggy. Like you already have a Mark 1. There's no reason to waste the intel on a Mark 2 buggy sand bike. You want to spend the intel on your first buggy. Now, that buggy, you're mostly going to be wanting the buggy utility rear, okay? Cuz that's how we're going to be able to mount the mining laser. All right. There is another piece that you're going to need to get is also the storage. So to make the buggy mine, like being able to be mined, it's going to require the rear assembly, a storage, and also the mining laser, which if you see here, that's roughly right around 35 intel to unlock the buggy, like fully unlock it to mine. So if you watch my previous video about intel, like don't waste it. I was trying to make sure that, I was showing a graph of me, doing the buggy because I didn't want people to think that, to go waste it on other things. Now, you want to make sure that we're unlocking this stuff when we are able to. Now, there is a thing to say about potentially unlocking the welding torch, the steel one. Now, you can. It will help a little bit when you're doing like repairs and stuff like this. It'll help. I don't know how fast we could potentially get into the next one. So it could be, but it's also 10 intel. Now, it would be something that I would be looking at doing if I was looking at spending intel to get me to 300. I would probably use that before I used anything else, just because it plays more of a key role later on, but you get better ones further down into aluminum. But with that said, the buggy is going to be your key important mining thing, like vehicle, right? Once you get into the game, once we have our main base, we're looking at making a forward operating base, right? We want to make sure that we put a forward operating base down where we're going to be gathering resources. This buggy is going to be at your main base. It's going to be at your forward operating bases. Like this is the vehicle that's going to provide you with the most utility in the entire game. Whenever you go farming, this is the vehicle you're taking, right? When you're traversing the land, you're going to be in an ornithopter. But if you're mining, you're gathering resources, you're going to spend a lot of time in this buggy. So that would be the first thing that I would unlock in the steel tier. Now, I would wait to unlock the buggy in aluminum tier because you can still unlock the mining laser, the storage unit inside the aluminum tier and put it on your buggy as, as a steel buggy. You can just mismatch those parts. So don't waste your intel on a vehicle that you already have. Now, if you're meeting closer to end game, you're getting into aluminum, stuff like this, yeah, go ahead, unlock it. It's going to provide you with better tracks. It's going to provide you with a lot better resources. But to unlock it in the aluminum tier, I would just stay focused on your ornithopter in aluminum. Which brings me to my next topic, is an ornithopter. Once you hit aluminum tier, ornithopter is your next unlock. It's going to take us roughly around 300 intel to unlock it. Once you unlock the aluminum, it's going to take an extra 30, so it takes 330 intel to unlock an ornithopter right out the gate. All right, but there are some key things that you might want to have for this ornithopter, like a storage unit. Like the storage unit is going to be very big for when you are traversing and you're going to get like other materials, or you're trying to fly materials from one base to another. That storage unit is actually going to be very big to help you transport those goods back and forth. With that said, I mean, there's also other key factors that you may want to look at when you get into the aluminum tier. Now, with being able to use the buggy to mine aluminum, you first have to unlock the mining laser in the aluminum tier. You have to make that laser, and that's the only laser that will make that will, like, that laser and above will be able to harvest aluminum. And that's going to be like my main focus is I'm going to unlock that laser. I'll put it on my buggy, and then I'll hit the ornithopter, and then I'll go for the storage unit. Those are the key locks or unlocks that I'm personally going to do. You can do it whichever way you want. You can just unlock the ornithopter and, go flying, and it's an amazing time. Or based on, how many vehicles are you after, how much are you trying to get done. So that is one of the things that I definitely recommend. Like, once you get into aluminum, start looking into your ornithopter, getting it set up. You may want to equip it with a scanner as well. The scanner will come in handy later in endgame. So don't feel like it's a waste of intel to use it there if you're trying to get into the duraluminum tier with intel. Okay, because the next tier to a duraluminum is 700 intel, right? It's that trek is a long haul from aluminum. Okay, aluminum is fairly quick to get into, and if you want to watch, you can come watch me on Twitch. I'll be streaming the game live, the 5th for early launch. Maybe come by. I'll be listening to music and just jamming out, and we'll just moving. So stay tuned for that. But also, once you get into aluminum products, like, I'm going to just, once you get your ornithopter and you're looking to spend intel, I highly, highly recommend unlocking the rad suit. Okay, that rad suit will provide you a lot of utility. Maybe not right away, but it will provide you with a little bit of utility later on. Okay, but with that said, I'm going to leave you right here, and I hope you're ready for launch because you've been following along, and I will see you guys on the 5th. And if you're really getting anything out of this content, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to know more. And I'll see you on Arrakis.